The Transatlantic Alliance has been a cornerstone of the post-World War II global order. It has provided a framework for peace, prosperity, and shared values. The United States and Europe have cooperated on a wide range of issues. These include security, trade, and diplomacy. This partnership has been vital for both sides of the Atlantic. It has ensured stability and promoted democratic principles worldwide. The alliance is rooted in shared history and common values. It is a testament to the enduring bonds between the United States and Europe. The alliance has weathered many storms over the decades. It has adapted to changing geopolitical realities. From the Cold War to the rise of terrorism, the transatlantic partnership has been a bulwark against threats to our shared security and prosperity. The alliance has also been instrumental in promoting economic growth and development. The transatlantic economy is the largest in the world. It accounts for a significant portion of global trade and investment. The close economic ties between the United States and Europe have created jobs and raised living standards on both sides of the Atlantic. However, the transatlantic alliance is facing new challenges in the 21st century. The global balance of power is shifting. New threats are emerging. These include cyber warfare, climate change, and pandemics. These challenges require a renewed commitment to transatlantic cooperation. They demand innovative solutions to address the complex issues of our time. The election of Donald Trump in 2016 sent shockwaves through Europe, causing widespread concern and uncertainty among European leaders and citizens alike. Trump's America. First, rhetoric and his skepticism of multilateralism have raised significant concerns about the future of the transatlantic alliance, which has been a cornerstone of global stability for decades. Trump has repeatedly questioned the value of NATO, an organization that has been pivotal in maintaining peace and security in Europe since World War II. He has imposed tariffs on European goods, sparking fears of a trade war that could have severe economic repercussions on both sides of the Atlantic. He has withdrawn the United States from key international agreements such as the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal, undermining global efforts to address climate change and nuclear proliferation. A second term for Trump would likely exacerbate these tensions, leading to even greater uncertainty and instability in the transatlantic relationship.
European leaders are deeply concerned about Trump's foreign policy, which they view as unpredictable and often at odds with European interests and values. They see it as unpredictable and often at odds with European interests, creating a sense of unease and mistrust among European allies.
Trump's approach to trade has also been a significant source of friction, with his administration's tariffs impacting European businesses and economies. His tariffs have hurt European businesses and raised fears of a trade war, which could have long-lasting effects on global trade and economic stability.
Moreover, Trump's personal style and his disdain for traditional diplomacy have alienated many European leaders, making it difficult to maintain strong and effective alliances. His attacks on allies and his cozying up to authoritarian leaders like Vladimir Putin have further strained relations, causing European leaders to question the reliability of the United States as a partner. Europeans are increasingly questioning the reliability of the United States as a partner, wondering if they can continue to depend on American support in times of crisis. They are worried about the long-term implications of Trump's presidency for the transatlantic alliance, fearing that the damage done may be difficult to repair. The Trump administration's policies have had a tangible impact on European policies, forcing European leaders to rethink their strategies and alliances. The European Union has been forced to respond to Trump's trade tariffs with retaliatory measures, leading to a tit-for-tat escalation that benefits no one. It has also sought to strengthen its own defense capabilities in light of Trump's questioning of NATO's relevance, investing in military infrastructure and joint exercises. European leaders are increasingly talking about the need for strategic autonomy from the United States, seeking to reduce their dependence on American support. They are exploring ways to assert their interests on the world stage independently of Washington, aiming to build a more self-reliant and resilient Europe. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has become a major test for the transatlantic alliance. Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 and its support for separatists in eastern Ukraine have been met with condemnation from the United States and Europe. The West has imposed sanctions on Russia and provided military aid to Ukraine. However, there have been differences within the alliance over how to deal with Russia. Some European countries, particularly those with close economic ties to Russia, have been reluctant to impose tough sanctions. Trump's ambiguous stance on Russia and his questioning of NATO's commitment to defend its members have also raised concerns in Europe, particularly in the Baltic states and Poland. The Ukraine crisis has highlighted the importance of transatlantic unity in the face of Russian aggression. It has also exposed the challenges of maintaining a common front when there are differing views on how to engage with Moscow. The outcome of the conflict will have major implications for the future of European security and the transatlantic alliance. NATO at a crossroads: collective defense in a changing world. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, has been the cornerstone of transatlantic security for over 7 decades, playing a crucial role in maintaining stability and peace. Founded in 1949, NATO's principle of collective defense, that an attack on one member is an attack on all, has deterred aggression and helped maintain peace in Europe, ensuring a united front against common threats. However, NATO is facing a number of challenges in the 21st century, which require adaptation and strategic foresight. One significant challenge is the changing nature of warfare, which has evolved dramatically over the past few decades. NATO was originally designed to deter and defeat conventional military threats from the Soviet Union during the Cold War era. Today, the alliance faces a more complex threat environment, characterized by a multitude of diverse and unpredictable challenges. This includes terrorism, cyber attacks, and hybrid warfare, which blend conventional and unconventional tactics. These modern threats are more difficult to deter and defeat using traditional military means, necessitating new strategies and capabilities. Another challenge is the rise of China, which has become a significant global power. China's growing military power and its assertive behavior in the Indo-Pacific region have raised concerns among NATO members, prompting discussions on how to address this emerging threat. Some argue that NATO needs to expand its focus beyond Europe to address the China challenge, incorporating a more global perspective. Others worry that doing so would overstretch the alliance and undermine its core mission of collective defense in the Euro-Atlantic area, potentially weakening its effectiveness. NATO is also grappling with internal divisions, which have been exacerbated by differing national interests and priorities. Trump's criticism of NATO and his demands for increased defense spending by European allies have strained relations within the alliance, highlighting the need for unity and cooperation. Some European countries have been slow to meet NATO's defense spending target of 2% of GDP, leading to ongoing debates and tensions. This has led to accusations of free riding and calls for a more equitable sharing of the burden of collective defense, emphasizing the importance of solidarity and mutual commitment within NATO. European public opinion: a growing divide over the Atlantic. Public opinion in Europe towards the United States has shifted significantly in recent years. The election of Donald Trump, coupled with his policies and rhetoric, has eroded trust in the United States as a reliable partner. Pew Research Center surveys have shown a sharp decline in favorable views of the United States across Europe during Trump's presidency.
There is also a growing perception among Europeans that the United States is becoming more inward-looking and less interested in global engagement. Trump's withdrawal from international agreements like the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal has reinforced this view.
Europeans are increasingly questioning the leadership role of the United States in the world. They are expressing doubts about the future of the transatlantic relationship.
This shift in public opinion has important implications for transatlantic relations. It makes it more difficult for European leaders to build public support for close cooperation with the United States. It also creates space for anti-American sentiment and for alternative foreign policy visions that prioritize European autonomy over transatlantic ties. European strategic autonomy: charting a course for an uncertain future. The concept of European strategic autonomy has gained significant traction in recent years, particularly in light of the perceived unreliability of the United States as a steadfast partner. This shift has prompted European leaders to reconsider their strategic dependencies. European strategic autonomy refers to the ability of the European Union to act independently on the global stage, both militarily and diplomatically, without having to rely on the United States. This autonomy is seen as crucial for the EU to assert its influence and protect its interests. However, there are also significant challenges to achieving European strategic autonomy. These challenges are multifaceted and require a concerted effort from all member states. One major challenge is the lack of a shared strategic culture among EU member states. This cultural divergence often leads to differing priorities and approaches. European countries have different histories, national interests, and threat perceptions. These differences can create friction and make it difficult to form a unified stance on foreign and security policies. This makes it challenging to agree on a common foreign and security policy that satisfies all member states. The need for consensus often slows down decision-making processes. Another significant challenge is the lack of military capabilities. The disparity in military strength among EU countries is a critical issue. European countries have significantly reduced their defense spending since the end of the Cold War. This reduction has had long-term impacts on their military readiness and capabilities. This has resulted in a noticeable decline in their military capabilities, making it difficult for the EU to project power independently. Consequently, Europe remains heavily reliant on the United States for its security. This dependency is seen as a vulnerability in the current geopolitical climate. Despite these challenges, the European Union has taken significant steps towards greater strategic autonomy. These efforts are aimed at reducing dependency and enhancing self-reliance. In 2016, the EU launched the Global Strategy for the European Union's Foreign and Security Policy. This strategy was a landmark initiative aimed at redefining the EU's role on the global stage. This strategy outlines the EU's ambition to become a more capable and strategic actor on the world stage. It emphasizes the need for a stronger, more cohesive foreign policy. The EU has also established a number of new institutions and mechanisms to strengthen its foreign and security policy, including the European External Action Service and the Permanent Structured Cooperation, or PESCO, on defense. These institutions are designed to enhance coordination and effectiveness. They also argue that Europe should have the capacity to project power globally and play a more active role in shaping the international order. This would involve not just military strength, but also diplomatic and economic influence. Proponents of European strategic autonomy argue that it is essential for Europe to be able to defend its interests and values in a changing geopolitical landscape. They believe that a stronger, more autonomous Europe is better positioned to navigate global challenges. They point to the need for Europe to be able to respond to crises in its neighborhood, such as the conflict in Ukraine, without relying on the United States. This capability is seen as vital for maintaining stability and security in the region.